I'm here today for the Australian media launch of the Hyundai Inster, one of the smallest electric cars available in Australia in length, 1 meter shorter than the Tesla Model Y at 3.8 meters. Please contribute. It really helps my independent, honest journalism. The Hyundai Inster has a charging port on the front, right here, on the front left-hand side. What do you think of that? If I was buying a Hyundai Inster, I reckon I'd get this urban khaki color. It looks really good when you're out in the nature, like in Centennial Park, where we paused along the way south along our road trip test. Before I go any further, I know I have to address the elephant in the room. I know that the Hyundai Inster will be a niche seller in Australia because there are lots of other electric cars available which are slightly larger and have longer range for similar amounts of money. That doesn't mean the Inster is bad though. It just means that it will appeal to certain niche groups of people. And that's okay. It'll be like the Suzuki Jimny of electric cars. The Hyundai Inster is a new electric car being sold in Australia, and I think it's going to be suitable for 4 kinds of people. Retirees, they don't have any kids anymore in the house, they don't have much to take around with them, and this will be perfect as a runaround. Sell your old big car, get something small, simple, and easy to park anywhere you want. The second group is going to be people who have a family without any kids like me. You don't need a huge car because you don't have strollers and other stuff. This is the perfect size to drive around the inner city, and because it's only 1.6 meters wide, which is much narrower than a lot of other cars, and it's 3.8 meters long, it's also much shorter than a lot of other cars. You will find parking easy as. Hyundai reckons that a lot of young people might buy this car. I'm not so sure unless they're relatively well-off young people or their parents buy it for them, because let's be realistic, this car is well into the 40,000s drive-away price, and someone who's really young, straight out of high school or at uni and doesn't have much money to spend, they're more likely to buy a small petrol car instead. And the fourth kind of person who might buy a Hyundai Inster, you know what that kind of person is? It's a kind of person who wants to be different. So they want something with distinctive design elements, something that hardly anyone else will have in Australia. It won't be like a Tesla where you'll see 100 of them on the road every day. Your car might be the only Insta anyone sees on that day. It's really surprising. Hyundai has managed to design the Hyundai Insta to be more like the Dr Who TARDIS. It doesn't look big on the outside, but on the inside, there's heaps of room. Plus, not having a big chunky center console and being able to flip up the armrest there means it feels even more spacious. Good design. I'm here with Tim from The Driven, and we're swapping back and forth driving different versions of the Hyundai Inster. This is nice twisty roads through the Royal National Park, and the car did an efficiency of about 11 kilowatts per hour from Macquarie Park to Cronulla from memory.
That's right, yeah.
Yep. Or was that from Centennial Park to Cronulla?
I think that included the first bit as well.
Yeah, that included both bits. Yeah. And then from Cronulla to Bundeena, it was 16 because we climbed a couple hundred meters. And already as we go down the slope, the car's average has dropped to 13.9. So it goes to show regenerative braking makes a lot of difference getting energy back into the battery. And the Kia, not Kia, slip of the tongue. Kia and Hyundai are related companies. The Hyundai Inster, performing pretty well. There's a lot of potholes on this road because of the heavy rain in New South Wales recently. And sure, you can feel them, but it's not severe. It's pretty good. Having such a narrow car as well, I'll put the specs on screen, means it's easier to avoid potholes and you can still stay in your lane. Totally legal. So as you say, Tim, the Hyundai Inster isn't going to be carving up the corners of a racetrack at Eastern Creek, but you reckon it handles pretty well. The raw numbers for power kind of don't tell the full story.
No, it's got decent pickup. Decent pickup, handles the corners pretty well, and
Yeah,
that we've driven on today anyway. So
yeah. The important bit with this car seems to be like 0 to 50. Sure, it's not going to outpace a lot of cars to 100 or 120, but you're not doing that most of the time. This car's meant for the city. So we're driving some quite twisty roads. How do you think the Insta's handling the twisty roads in the Royal National Park?
I think it's handling it quite well.
Yeah, it's really surprising.
Yeah,
I
for
thought that it would feel like it was tipping over a bit. I don't know if you get that feeling sometimes in some cars that they feel a bit like a boat when going around corners.
sometimes you can feel that weight, but I guess the lightweight nature of this car helps.
Yeah,
The low center of gravity with the battery down low.
yeah, that's true.
You can sort of push it a bit out of the corners, and it still feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's surprising in many ways. I would say that's what I would say the Insta is. It's surprising. I still can't believe that I can sit in the back seat, pushed back fully in the driver's position, for me 1.9 meters tall, and I can still fit in the back. Like I've been in medium-sized cars where I can't sit behind me. Obviously, there is a catch. It means that the boot is really small if you have the seats designed in the locations to maximize seat room. But because both rear seats can be easily pushed forward, that means the boot can be, I'll show it on screen, but I'm pretty sure about 350 litres, which is on par with a decent hatchback. The Hyundai Inster is one of the smallest electric cars available in Australia, but can it fit me easily, 1.91 metres tall? Let's see. Okay, so the seats are not electronically adjustable, they're manually adjustable, but actually I'm fine with that. That's pretty easy to use. And yeah, we drove several hundred kilometers yesterday to get to this location. What a beautiful place to film cars. And yeah, quite comfortable. Lots of headroom as well. Easy adjustable steering wheel for distance and height. Yeah, so thanks to the Hyundai Insta's super long wheelbase of 2.58 meters, you can see that it's really easy to fit inside if you're camping and sleeping in the car overnight. Not a problem at all. The Hyundai Insta has a cool feature that viewer Ben asked me to check about. He said, does it have a camping mode? Well, actually what it has is called a utility mode, and that's available on all Hyundai electric cars. It means that you can use the internal vehicle to load socket to power things while you're sleeping in the car. And you might wonder, isn't that uncomfortable? Actually, no. In this Hyundai Insta Cross, the top model, the front seats actually fold totally flat. So if you had an inflatable mattress here, you could easily fit two people, I reckon, without any issues, even if they're really tall like me. So does the Hyundai Insta have the ability for you to camp inside easily? Yes, it does, because you don't even need a powered campsite. With vehicle to load and a fully flat floor, including the front seats, you're set. You hardly have to pay anything at a caravan park, and you can have a nice camping trip away without being outside, because it's super windy at the moment in Sydney and sometimes raining. You can be inside your car instead, shielded from the elements. Much better for sleeping and then doing bushwalking the next day. I'm here today with Sam, who's in charge of product planning for the Hyundai Inster A segment small electric car in Australia. Is Hyundai planning to bring in other affordable EV models besides the Insta to Australia to sell in volume and help meet NVES targets, like your sister company Kia has done with the Kia EV3?
I think we definitely do study all models, and it's just in terms of feasibility for our market. So it's just a matter of what the product is, does it work, and then we'll go from there.
How many Instas do you think you'll sell in Australia? I think about 600 have been brought in initially, mostly standard range and extended range.
Yeah, we can't disclose our production targets, but you are correct. We have around 600. landed stock. So we don't have an exact target. We expect the trim mix to sit around 50% for our standard range, 20% for our extended range, and 30% for our top of the line cross.
Are all the colors, because there are lots of colors available, which is really great, not just like black and white, are they a mix of colors available in every state and territory?
Yeah, there's no restrictions on colors. So certain states don't get other colors that other states won't. So it's just the color range is available across the range.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Roughly half of Australian car sales to fleet, but that's usually larger cars. Do you expect much interest from small companies with branches in urban areas where there's really tight parking to be interested in purchasing the Insta?
Mm-hmm. We understand that Insta is a very niche product. I think it's just a matter of time. It is fresh to the market, and we'll see if there are any fleet opportunities, but we do expect predominantly private sales.
So sometimes with electric cars and other cars, there's different pricing for different regions of Australia, like Western Australia is more expensive. Is the pricing for the Insta exactly the same whether you turn up to a dealer in Canberra or Perth?
Yeah, so our manufacturing list price
Yeah.
is all the same regardless of state. It's just the drive-away price will be different.
In terms of?
Different states have different drive-away
Oh, of
and on-road
course, because
costs.
they have different on-road
Yeah,
costs, of
yeah.
course. And some dealers may like to negotiate more than others because they're independent Hyundai franchise dealers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This is going to be a point of view video of me driving the Hyundai Inster from Austinmer back part of the way to Sydney. We're starting with 92% battery, and I'm going to change the display from the analog style cluster theme, which you can see here, to the more modern cube style. I like it because it shows numbers for the kilometers per hour speed, range, maximum and minimum, which depends on your driving style. As you can see there, that's the regeneration level. And I've just used the flappy paddle on the left to turn iPedal maximum regenerative braking on. Okay, let's go. 92% battery, 356 kilometers. We're going to use the built-in Hyundai Maps, and we're going to search for Dulwich Hill Station in the inner west of Sydney. Takes about a bit over an hour to get there. Okay, let's go. This is what pressing this button does. You get a bit more instructions about where you'll have to turn. And the navigation, route guidance.
Voice guidance will be set at this volume.
And you can change the alert volume for things like speed and other things. We've already turned the car on with the start stop button, and we're going to drive. Going to signal, make sure the mirrors are set up for me because I'm tall. The side mirrors are adjusted here. You don't need to go into a screen. You can do it from that handy area. Okie dokie. How about that view from Austinmer? Let's head back to Sydney. I'm going to turn the more detailed instructions on because I'm not familiar with this area. And I'm going to put my backpack flat down so it stops moving around. What a view. We're really lucky to have awesome beaches like this in Australia. As you can see, there's a reverse camera in the base and extended range Insta. You have to get the Insta Cross top model to get the 360 camera with built-in cameras views here when you're turning. Oops. Nobody coming behind us. Nice smooth stop thanks to the regenerative braking. Even though the power numbers for the Hyundai Inster aren't very high, it has no problems climbing hills or accelerating from 0 to 50 or 60, which is the normal speed limit which most owners will be using this car for. You can use it for highway runs, but not for very long ones.
In 700 meters, cross the roundabout. In 300 meters, cross the roundabout. Cross the roundabout, and then keep right. Keep right onto Lawrence Hargrave Drive, and then turn right.
Okay,
Turn right onto Bulli Pass.
let's head back home.
Continue on current road for about 3 kilometers.
Gonna use the cruise control here so I can concentrate on driving and watching out for pedestrians, animals, etc. since we're still on the edges of town. That means I've got the speed set on 60 and it should work nicely. Steady, stick 60. The cruise control is adaptive, which means if there were vehicles in front of me, it would slow down below 60 as required. And you can use this button here to change the distance between you and other vehicles while on adaptive cruise control. At this point, I'll turn cruise control off because we've got to slow down to head around this tight hairpin bend. Look at the Insta accelerator back up to 60. No problems whatsoever. It's very nimble as well.
In 700 meters, keep left onto Sydney.
Thanks to having a narrow car body, it's really easy to avoid potholes or sticks that have fallen onto the road from the cliffs up above.
In 300 meters, keep left onto Sydney.
Okay, I think we need to be a bit slower here, just to be careful.
Keep left onto Sydney and then turn slight left. In 200 meters, turn slight left onto Prince's Motorway. Turn slight left onto Prince's Motorway.
Holding this button here hard, down or up, changes the speed by 10 kilometers an hour for the automatic cruise control. Just checking all the windows are shut, because it's kind of annoying at high speeds if the windows are open. Okay, speed limit 110. As you can see, the Insta's speeding up without any problems whatsoever. Let's change
Continue on
into
the current road for
the right
about
lane.
28 kilometers.
Between Austinmer and joining the motorway, we've used 5% of the battery, and efficiency is currently 31.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers as we're climbing a lot. A little bit of noise, I think, to be fair. It's quite windy today, and despite the Insta having pretty good insulation, it is getting buffeted by the strong winds outside. Wow, it's actually getting pushed around a little bit. Let's change lanes because this lane is ending. Now we're going downslope, so the efficiency should improve quite rapidly. Already it's down to 28.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Despite being a large person, 1.9 meters tall, as you can see down there, my left foot is quite comfortable on the rest. Yeah. This car has a lot of space. I like this cube cluster theme for the Hyundai Inster. It's really easy to understand all the stats. You can also have the speed limit there, but it's already on the other side, so don't really need it. I've noticed a lot of new Hyundai electric cars have a more improved range guide. It's got a big number there, 326, which is the estimate for mixed city and highway higher faster driving, and 342 kilometers if you just drove at congested city speeds, down to 199 kilometers if you just drove fast at highway speeds at 85% battery. Let's see how that changes over time. So far, this Hyundai Inster has been driven 1,600 kilometers by Hyundai staff and media over 72 hours at an average of 14 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Though, to be fair, a lot of media would have driven it quite spirited way, so that might be a higher kilowatt hours than normal drivers in the population. Let's go back to current trip stats. And we've gone for about 16 kilometers, and it's 25.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Clearly that Ford Ranger driver is not really interested in the speed limit. I prefer not to drive behind trucks. There's too much of a chance of stones getting thrown up by all their wheels and chipping your windshield, which I've seen people suffer from in the past. After 24.6 after about 25 kilometers, we've hit efficiency of 20.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. We've just passed 25 kilometers on the way back to Sydney, and the efficiency is still dropping. It's currently 19.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Still dropping fast. Let's see what it's like when we get to Dulwich Hill Station at the end. Okay, time to slow down. And set the cruise control to 80. Just passing Waterfall Station, and after 29 kilometers, we're efficiency 18.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. With 81% battery remaining. Speed limit is back to 100. You'll have noticed the car beeped when the speed limit changed. That's very common for Hyundai electric cars. Ooh, some big potholes. I didn't see them till the last minute, but Barely felt them. I would have expected a small car like this to really send the shock of driving over holes through the vehicle much more. If you go over the speed limit, you're going to get bing bong noises, even though this speed actually is less than 60 GPS speed. Smelly diesel ute just up ahead, so I changed to recirc. Don't know why they have two buttons for air intake and recirc. I would have thought it'd be easier just to have a single button that cycles between the two, but anyway.
In 700 metres, turn left onto Heathcote Road.
Kind of by accident, I basically did a WLTP range test, 69 kilometers up and down hills, on slow roads, fast roads, flat roads, and on highway speeds as well. The battery dropped from 92% to 73%, so 19% used, averaging 12.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is pretty good. If I'd driven to GPS speed rather than odometer speed, the efficiency would have been slightly worse. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos. It really helps me make more videos like this for you. And have a look at the suggested videos up above. I'm pretty sure you'll like those as well. Thanks, and see you later.